Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. And well, it was bound to happen at some time, and we have first actually really good news from the balancing system, to be fair. So this is like the first time I can genuinely be happy about having a balancing system in the game. I ultimately still think it's a horrible deal for the player base, and it should not exist in the game. But this time around, let's put that aside and discuss what is going to happen in near future of Malcolm. So champions with Valkyrie, with Gorr, and a surprise featured champion. Right, so first of all, now Valkyrie, they are happy with. As they are saying, it is taking a bit longer for players to pick up because she does have fairly unique and interesting loops, so they haven't seen many people use Valkyrie, and that's also obviously because Valkyrie was relatively underhyped compared to the recent champions surrounding her, like Galen and Quicksilver and a whole bunch of others, and therefore not too many people chase her, not too many people have her, and not too many people use her. But for those fight metrics of where people do end up using Valkyrie, they are happy with the way she's performing, and there's going to be no change to Valkyrie. So if you were planning on ranking up Valkyrie, then, you know, good on you, and you can do it safely. Now, Gorr, the God Butcher. And I'm obviously personally quite invested in this champion because I do have a 6-star rank 4, which I ranked up for Alliance for Defense, and he has definitely put in plenty of work. But Gorr is getting a buff, which is amazing, which I'm super happy with. And throughout the last couple of months or so, whenever people ask me about Gorr and ask me whether you think he should be tuned up and how would you tune up, I answered immediately in two simple ways. Number one, make sure that his shadow magic buffs last longer, so it's easier to maintain them. And number two is pause Undermine during special attacks, like you do shadow magic buffs, or just increase the duration. And those are exactly the two changes that they are implementing with Gorr. Basically, they're saying they're happy with Gorr in straightforward, simple fights, but as soon as the fights get more complex, Gorr's damage output drops off drastically, and that is absolutely true. And therefore, they are going to increase the duration of his shadow magic buffs, which is exactly what we wanted / needed. And then they are also going to improve on his Undermine ability, likely just increasing the duration of that Undermine buff. Again, ideally also make it pause. I would hope that they do that too. And that means that Gorr is going to be effectively exactly the same to fight against. So nothing about him is changing on a defensive aspect, really. But he is going to be easier to use on offense, which I absolutely love. I'm looking forward to that, and I already like using Gorr. I think he's a good champion. Again, I think he could be even better with these changes, obviously, and I'm happy to see that happening. But there is something else. There is something else, and that is America Chavez is getting an update. Like last month, we have had enough time to pair Gorr's changes with another small value-only update, America Chavez, as her original design intent was to be a mystic brawler that should feel like a truck. We'll be looking at increasing her damage output to match that goal. So what I suspect they are going to be doing there is perhaps increasing her base stats, but most likely increasing the attack and damage bonus she gets for each of the dimensions and buffs that are active or something of the sort. So when our 37.1 build hits, we'll be running a beta for players to take a retuned Gorr and America Chavez out for a spin and give us some feedback on whether his changes are hitting the goals or not. So in this time, basically, we're getting America Chavez that's going to be effectively exactly the same but hitting harder, and Gorr that's going to be easier to use offensively. So those ultimately are very good news, especially for me. And I know a lot of people who are following my channel have been starting to value Gorr somewhat highly, and that has definitely always been kind of like one of the biggest drawbacks with Gorr. If opponent doesn't want to throw his special attacks, for instance, in battlegrounds or any other type of content, you basically lose all your damage output. You need the fights to be relatively high-paced in order to perform well with Gorr, because the shadow magic buffs do feel like they fall off extremely quickly unless you're like spamming level 3s. And hopefully they increase the duration by significant enough amount so you feel a bit less restricted using Gorr and actually can choose to go for different special attacks and have more time to inflict the debuffs whilst your shadow magic buffs are active. And yeah, I definitely look forward to that. So that is pretty much it. Nothing much else to report here. So now we are aware about Valkyrie and Gorr. Next month we will know about Quicksilver and Gallon. And as always, my personal plan and recommendation for both of those champions, because as soon as the new update hits, I will be opening my featured crystals and hopefully acquiring Quicksilver and Gallon. But I will take them to rank 3 initially max until I do find out whether Kabam is going to be tuning them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I'm going to take my Gallon to rank 3, I'm going to take my Quicksilver to rank 3 if I am lucky enough to acquire those champions. But I will definitely wait until we know whether they are getting balanced down, because if Gorr was a type of champion where we figured either he's not getting balanced at all or they're going to tune him up, which they are tuning him up, Gallon is the type of champion who will either not be touched at all or is going to be tuned down. We all know that. Let's pretend that we don't. Out of all of the champions that are currently subject to balancing program, Gallon is the one that is most likely to get tuned down, in my personal opinion. I am not saying that he is going to get tuned down. I am, however, saying that he is either going to be left alone or he's going to get tuned down. And I personally would rather want to find out before I take him to rank 4. All of that being covered, I can't wait to see how much harder America Chavez is going to hit. I do like the fact that she's getting buffed because she's quite a cool battleground champion. And again, in matchups where you do need power control, dealing with power gain effects and stuff like that, she is an amazing champion already. Already there are plenty of buffs involved to a point where she can be one of the battleground MVPs in specific metas. And now people might have more reason to rank her up, which has always kind of been the downside of America Chavez. She was kind of cool, just not good enough. So hopefully they're going to make her good enough now. Alright, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about what I said in the video about the changes to Gorr. Not changes, not anything changing about Valkyrie. And buff to America Chavez. As well as discussion about Gallon. What do you think is going to happen with Gallon in 1 month's time? Let me know, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about